Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it.
The gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Davis, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, for holding this hearing. And let me thank all of our witnesses for being here and being with us today. Mr. Woods, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your company's position on carbon pricing. Exxon's lobbying website states, and I quote, "Without exception, the company's lobbying efforts are aligned with its publicly available positions." Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
This reflects and refers to carbon pricing on carbon taxes. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
It relates to carbon pricing or carbon taxes. Is that correct?
We do advocate for a carbon tax or a price on carbon, yes.
So is it fair to say that Exxon has taken a public position in support of a price on carbon?
Yes.
I ask because committee staff reviewed Exxon's lobbying reports along with those of other companies. And the committee's analysis found that since 2011, Exxon and its lobbyists have filed 344 reports involving lobbying on tax legislation or tax policy. Does this figure sound about right to you?
I don't have those numbers available to me.
All right. Well, according to your company's filing, these lobbying efforts focused on a variety of legislative and policy issues, including protecting oil and gas tax breaks and preserving the corporate tax benefits in President Trump's signature tax spending bill. Since 2011, 46 bills have been introduced in the House and the Senate to deal with carbon pricing. Mr. Woods, would you take a guess at the number of Exxon's lobbying reports during this time that referenced a tax or price on carbon?
I haven't seen the report, so I don't know what that number would be.
Well, thank you. Our information says that 12, and that Exxon reported only 12 instances of lobbying on federal legislation that would tax or price carbon. Mr. Woods, your company's lack of action on an issue it says it supports sends a rather interesting signal. And this goes for all the organizations represented here today. Over the last decade, Exxon, Chevron, BP, Shell, API, and their outside lobbyists filed nearly 6,000 lobbying reports. The committee identified only 34 times that these companies and API reported lobbying on any of the bills that address carbon pricing. Meanwhile, they lobbied 77 times just on President Trump's tax cuts. If you do the math, it pretty much means that Exxon, Chevron, BP, Shell, and API reported lobbying 150 times more frequently to carve out corporate giveaways in President Trump's tax cuts and job action than on all carbon pricing legislation. So if it wasn't for the analysis that the committee released today, none of us sitting here would know what their pledges and that their pledges don't hold up under scrutiny. So I thank you for your answers and appreciate your being here. And Madam Chairman, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back.